So it's Wednesday night, which is really weird, unless you're watching this on archive, and then who knows what day it is. And Sir Owen Disney here, and I can honestly tell you that Impact Wrestling just ended on Destination America, and we're going to talk about it because Ashley said if there is a live or live in quote marks Impact, we would do a podcast on it. So that's exactly what we're doing tonight. We're doing a podcast based upon last night's edition or this night's edition, depending on when you're watching this video, or last week's edition, last year's edition of TNA Impact Wrestling. So, auspicious by his absence is Aaron. Mr. Entertainment was live in the Impact Zone tonight, so he will be joining us later on. He actually will be doing the same thing for Slammiversary on Sunday, and it sounds like he's going to be there for the other days of taping this week. So, that being said, I'm not alone. Oh no, joining me, as always, is Ashley. Ashley, welcome.
Oh my god.
We got a lot to talk about, sir.
Yeah, the great thing is I didn't even see the first hour. I've just read the notes, and even from reading the notes, I'm confused. So, let's get down to this, because, you know, I hate to say it, but when all but two of your matches on the card suddenly change in the space of a day, that's a bit sort of, we're desperate.
A little dodgy?
To me, well, yeah, because the only two matches that have survived, because I don't think any of them even got brought up tonight, was Storm and Magnus, and Robbie and Jesse.
Yeah, the Battle of the Bromans.
Everything else, completely different to what was advertised.
Sometimes that's not a bad thing, though. Don't forget, ECW made their pay-per-view careers for a lot of shows by basically just coming up with on-the-fly booking.
True, but this isn't on-the-fly booking in front of 300,000 people.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the issue there. And this isn't on-the-fly booking, bringing in people that just seem very... It seems like a last roll of the dice.
I mean, even if that is the case, then I'm just along for the ride at this point, because I'm very tuned in right now to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah, tune into a pay-per-view which shouldn't even be a pay-per-view, because all your title matches are on television. Thanks, Destination America. You meddling idiots.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you say that, Ashley. We don't even have an X Division Championship match on Slammiversary.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, we'll talk about the match when it comes up. This was originally advertised to be an Ultimate X match.
That's correct.
A triple threat.
I would not be surprised if in the next couple days of Impact tapings you don't see an Ultimate X match.
Yeah, but again, you advertise for television. It was
I know.
on the banner. Triple Threat Ultimate X this Wednesday.
Sometimes things change.
Match. It was just a completely different match.
Yeah. But the color of the championship remains the same.
It's not easy being green.
Oh boy. So how does this start out? With Kurt Angle, of course. TNA World Heavyweight Champion comes out and directly addresses Ethan Carter III. He says, "Your campaign is coming to an end. In 7 days, I'll shut you up once and for all at Bell to Bell. This is not on pay-per-view in a couple of days. It's in a week at a televised show that we're going to have the results to within the next couple days."
Probably tomorrow.
I would say tomorrow, unless they tape out of order, which is possible, because that happens sometimes.
But even then, we'll know the result before the pay-per-view.
Which is crazy, because even if you are forced to do a pay-per-view, even if you are forced to put the money down to do a pay-per-view by Destination America. Let's play devil's advocate here and say Destination America said, TNA, you got to do a pay-per-view.
Yeah, because Ring of Honor's doing one, and we put more money into them than we have you.
Pretty much. Um, so TNA's like, okay, fine, we'll throw together what used to be our WrestleMania is now basically going to be kind of like an in-your-house event with a couple like big matches.
At some points, it's verging on Sunday Night Heat.
And no, the card's not bad. It's just it reminds me of Bound for Glory in Tokyo. It's really disjointed. So the last two TNA pay-per-views have been like really clusterfied.
Yeah, but the issue with that pay-per-view obviously was tape, so people just read the results.
I know that's the problem with doing pay-per-views.
All the pay-per-view on for something that people knew the results from. At least they've got it right with Slammiversary because it's live, not in inverted commas. It's actually live.
It will be live at 8 p.m. on Sunday night.
Yeah, live in the UK.
Oh
Those of you who stay up that late.
Oh my God! It's just, I mean, I have to be a TNA apologist a lot, and I do mean a lot. But what it all boils down to is the fact that it's just, I just don't understand why there's a pay-per-view. I mean, I guess I get it from a business stance, but they're probably not going to do very well buy rate on this, and they're putting more of a pay-per-view card on television a couple days later.
I tell you, it's Destination America.
I know it is.
It's their meddling. They want the good matches for their show, not some crappy pay-per-view thing that they aren't going to get any revenue for.
That's exactly right. I completely see where you're coming from there because it's true. It really is. It's a sad state of affairs, but it's very true.
Why have all the interesting matches suddenly moved to TV tapings?
But the problem with that is that's the bad word, is taping. If you're going to go in, and in the end of July, they're going to tape basically all the way up to close to Bound for Glory. And I understand they can't go live every week. I totally get that, but it just sucks. If you're a TNA fan right now, you love the wrestling that you get to see, but you get to know way too much way early in advance.
Yeah.
If you want to correlate it to something, it's like when there was a website that leaked the entire Halloween Horror Nights lineup in March. You're going to know way too much, way too early, and you're going to still watch the shows, but if you don't see something you like, you're just going to be like, well, this is what happened, so it doesn't matter. I'll just flip the channel. And that's going to hurt Destination America in the long run, if they even care anymore.
Yeah. If a world title change happens on the TV tapings, people will go, oh, well, he won. And then not watch it.
Remember the Monday Night Wars? Eric Bischoff will never be forgotten when he said Shawn beats the big guy with the super kick, giving away matches, and he said that Mick Foley's going to win their world title. Said Tony Schiavone.
That was Bischoff via Schiavone, yeah.
Yeah. Schiavone said that, and then everybody, what did they do? They turned over to Raw and they watched Foley win the championship.
That's why I'm amazed certain names got mentioned later on in the night from a certain name. Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah. We'll be there in a bit, no worries. So he basically says, time for talking is over, time for fighting is now. Why don't you bring out my mystery opponent for tonight? So Carter and Tyrus come out. I assure you will take only one, the one being EC3, to defeat you and knock you off the mountain. Nice choice of words there. But you're only the best for now. Angle's like, you know what, stop talking. Why don't you shut your damn mouth and let's get on with this. Next week, you're going to tap out, and tonight my opponent will tap out. And EC3 endears himself to every movie fan in the world when he quotes the Happy Gilmore line, tap, tap, taparoo. I thought that was great, by the way.
Oh my word.
I will never tap out. I've beaten everybody, and I'm just getting started. I will sacrifice your heroes on my altar of perfection. So Angle's like, you know what? You're obsessed. Not with the championship, but you're obsessed with yourself. How much you look in the mirror a day, and your ego is going to end up biting you in the end. Literally, in the end. Dixie can't save you, Tyrus can't save you, and your ego can't help you anymore. Next week, I'm going to make you tap out. It's real. It's damn real. So Carter starts walking in the ring. He's unbuttoned his shirt. And he basically says, I'll never tap. And of course, it looks like he's going to fight. But as a good chicken heel always does, he's like, you know what? We'll find that out next week. Let's see if you can make my handpicked opponent for you tap out. Out of all people, here comes Matt Hardy. I don't have a problem with this because I like Matt Hardy a lot. And congratulations to Matt Hardy because him and Rebby Sky had their child yesterday. And he's on Impact tonight.
Wow.
That's dedication to the wrestling business.
Or the Impact are desperate. And it's like, look, we know you're on maternity. You know you're on paternity leave, but we need help.
We'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks on Impact taping this week. So I like this because it sets up Angle and Matt Hardy, a match that really never happened before, and I'm really curious to see exactly how it's going to go. I'm sure it would be a decent match, and it ends up being our main event for the night. So we start off the show with something rather interesting. The vacant X Division Championship on the line, not in a Ultimate X match like you professed, and the website professed. It is just a simple three-way dance, which, if in layman's terms, obviously, there's a triple threat match, which is like a product of the WWE, and then there's the good old-fashioned ECW three-way dance, and that means elimination rules. This match was done via elimination rules. It's low-key representing the Beatdown Clan, Tigre Uno, who seems out of place somewhat, but I guess I understand now, and Grado, who Pope keeps calling Grotto. Because apparently he's got a connection to Hugh Hefner? I don't know.
It's because he hasn't seen 50 Shades of Grado.
Oh, God.
Anastasia, it's your cell.
Brilliance. Oh, my God. Someone go to Impact Show.
If anybody knows Grado, tell him that. He needs to work with that on ICW. 50
It would
Shades
totally work.
Bigger than me.
50 Shades of Grado. Oh, my dad. All right. So we get this match. Well, first off, before I talk about anything, I remember when Extreme Tiger got signed to Impact, and I actually was there for his dark match when he was trying out, and it was interesting. And they gave him the Tigre Uno gimmick, and I was thinking, okay, is this going to be somebody that TNA is going to build around? Or is this going to be just another one of the luchadors that really doesn't do much, like is all flash in the pan, but ends up jobbing out on a regular basis?
Is he going to be a talent or a bloke?
Yeah, exactly. And his match his dark match was really good. And I've heard a lot about Extreme Tiger before, and it was like, I'm going to give this guy a shot, but I'm not sure if TNA is. And they're going to... Again, this is all about the reset button. This series of tapings, even though it's going to be progressing into July and August and September, it's going to literally be the reset button for TNA. Like you said, this is the last gamble. They're rolling the dice, and they're hoping they don't hit Snake Eyes right now.
Hey, they might want Snake Eyes. You don't know whether Randy Orton's out of a contract soon.
Oh, God. I've been calling Orton in TNA for a long time. It's never going to happen. But honestly, if money ever to come down...
After what happened tonight, Jake the Snake Roberts could randomly show up.
Hey, he's not in terrible shape right now.
Ric Flair, Shockmaster.
Oh, God.
David Arquette.
You are giving away what's happening later.
Scott Stutter. Well, perhaps not him.
Hey, you never know nowadays.
Sorry, Global Force Wrestling. Shelton Benjamin cut a promo saying, you know, I have this match in honor of Scott Steiner. I was like, has Scott Steiner got any honor left? Like,
Oh God. Well, here's my question though. Would This is a weird subject, but I'm gonna go off on this tangent because I can. It's a dream. It would be a dream match. It would have been a dream match 10 years ago, but would it ever happen? Could you imagine Ring of Honor bringing in Rick and Scott Steiner?
no, because they get massacred by the current roster.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it'd be a dream match. Like maybe like the Bullet Club, Gallows and Anderson, or maybe the Briscoes, or maybe the Kingdom, or the Steiners against the Addiction. I mean, I know it's one of those things that probably would never happen, but it's one thing I wanted to ask about.
It's probably happening in Global Force Wrestling in about 2 months.
Give it time.
Probably. Well, Steiner's supposed to be sort of part of the roster, and we know the Bucks are.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's why they're not going to be on PWG shows for the near future.
Oh, that sucks.
Jeff Jarrett. I mean, that's my opinion. There's no confirmation on it, but I just think it's coincidence that they're now Global Force Wrestling talents, and they're not now allowed to work in, I think, in California because just over the road is Vegas.
Yeah, I somewhat see that. Being a member of an independent wrestling roster before, I understand how promoters get a little bit peeved if they have their guy ends up working down the road. Let me set you an example. Let's say you're a promoter that runs a show that makes money. Let's say that your champion does another show down the road for like no fans and just basically does it as a favor to somebody. Why would you go pay money to see somebody you could see for free down the road?
Fair point.
It's just an analogy, but still. And has no basis in fact or reality. Now,
Then again, wrestling isn't wrestling.
yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. Still watch that video. It's amazing.
Yeah, I keep watching that over and over again, and it's like, it's never become so true.
Well, apparently now it's official that Pope is the commentary partner of Josh Matthews, so we're going to have to get used to that.
No wonder he's constantly in the crowd for PWG shows. Max is a smart man.
Yeah, he is. I'm still wondering why Pope's not working right now, but I guess maybe it's just he just wants to do he's like Taz, just wants to do commentary maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think obviously I think Taz's neck problems make it impossible for him to work a regular schedule, but maybe have one more match if he trained up for it. I think he possibly could.
No.
You don't want to see Taz have one more match?
No. Because then we'd have to get the DVD commentary of him on his own match. No. Oh my god.
Oh, that's fun though. So
I'm getting visions of the future now. Bloody hell.
not a good sign.
Like Days of Future Past. Come on.
So right away, the match kicks off real fast, and Grado ends up hitting the leaping back senton on Tigre Uno. He drops the straps, and he heads up top. Low-key shoves him off. Low-key heads up top, hits the Warrior's Way on Grado, and eliminates him. I was not expecting that.
I don't think anybody was.
Really thought Grado was going to win the title, but they had another thing in mind. Apparently, those plane tickets got to cost a lot. But how does that explain Galloway?
Well, especially considering...
Is he living in Florida now?
Considering Galloway is ICW champion.
Yeah.
The same company that Grado's in.
Yeah, it's interesting. Didn't he do like a run-in for Grado one time when he was getting beat down?
Possibly.
I thought I saw a video of that, but I'm I'm not positive. ICW is the ring that's like super tiny, right?
Well, it's relatively small, yeah.
It looks like it would fit in someone's living room.
Well, that's only because American living rooms are too big. Yes.
This is true. It's not a
Over
sitting
here,
room.
it's sort of like the equivalent of Japanese rooms, as
Okay.
in it's a 3 by 3 meter square box,
Mm.
and you can fit anything inside of that. God bless you, sir.
So yeah, this match was fast paced when it gets to low key and Tigre Uno, and we'll get to the end here when basically Uno misses a springboard corkscrew quebrada moonsault, and Loki in turn misses the shotgun drop kick, and this allows for the saber-tooth splash to connect, and Tigre Uno wins the X Division Championship clean as a sheet. As I
Good.
wrote in my notes, confetti streamer explosion.
Somebody went crazy on the streamers.
And not as crazy as when Sami Zayn won the NXT Championship. I can vouch for that.
Christy, I bet that would. Oh, I just get streamers in.
Speaking of Christy, she gets in the ring and congratulates Tigre Uno that says, "It is the greatest night of my life."
Wow, that isn't saying much.
We get Jeremy Borash in the back, and he's set to interview somebody. I'm guessing it's going to be just a random person. We never find out, obviously, because Bram interrupts him. And he talks about calling out another past TNA superstar because he beat Crimson, and last week he took out Joseph Park. So, who's it going to be? He walks away.
Is Joseph Park truly an old Impact superstar?
Not
I don't
necessarily.
break the fifth, sixth, and seventh wall here, but to quote even Joseph Park himself, Abyss, because you got to do it with a high pitched twist, like he always.
Yeah.
Abyss.
Well, here's the thing about that, and this is where I'm going to say, where I'm going to defend this. When it comes down to it, if you listen to the actual promo, he basically says he's calling out the past, the present, and the future. He doesn't care who it is, just as long as it's a former TNA superstar. So technically, Joseph Park is on that list.
He's not former though.
That he disappeared off television. That made him former, I guess.
He's Latter Day Saints. That's what he is.
Then Bram's gonna face Abyss somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
So I didn't think of it at the time, but looking back, you see a very familiar, very unmistakable black glove on JB's shoulder. And off camera, you see JB look over to who the identity of the mystery man is. And he's like, "You? Okay." So, and of course, we're not going to find out until later who it is.
Yeah, but sorry. All I've heard is he was grinning like the Cheshire Cat was having that time of the month.
Yeah, he was super excited because he was like, "Oh my god, it's him!"
And then, of course, he ruined it by saying, "Oh, well, it's time then."
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeremy Borash, ruiner of angles. Not Kurt Angle, though, thank God.
So we get Taryn in the dollhouse in the back, and Taryn is really unhappy with both Marty Bell and Jade because they couldn't get the job done last week, and now Taryn has to defend her championship against both Kong and Brooke.
And because they're better wrestlers on the indie scene.
But in this case, they're playing the blame game with shoving the blame on both of them. It's a really catty situation, pretty much.
Yeah, it's really just a case of Taryn Terrell is apparently too busy making movies to actually care about wrestling.
I'm telling you, I'm trying to spot her in Jurassic World, and I'm gonna guess that she's the stunt woman for the girl that, wow, spoiler territory. A girl that has a very Terrible Fate. We'll go with that.
Oh, she has to listen to Vader singing.
God. Only show tunes and only in Cadillacs. Now, I read that Foley book. I find out new information every day. So, good.
No, I said exactly.
It's made official that we're going to have not a Knockouts title defense at Slammiversary. Oh no, we're going to get a 3-on-1 handicap match.
And why is that?
Well, my guess is it won't be a 3-on-1 handicap match. This will be the debut of the new Knockout that they've been promoting on Impact the last 2 weeks.
Well, from what I know, it's a 3-on-2 handicap match.
It is.
But it's not Brooke.
No, it's Brooke and Kong.
Oh, but so you're thinking it won't be a handicap match, it will suddenly become a 6-woman tag.
I think it's going to be a 6-woman tag because the person that they've been promoting the last 2 weeks that is basically clad in gold and fire, golden fire, I guess. So, Katniss? I mean, seriously, if I see a bow and arrow, I'm gonna run.
I'm getting worried.
Katniss Everdeen coming to TNA Impact.
No, not because of that. I'm thinking that once again, Impact is pulling the... Well, TNA ditched this talent, so we'll pick them up.
It's possible.
Plus, what happened to Alpha Female?
Oh God, we haven't had. She left the company a long time ago. The only person that would come to mind there would be Havoc. But I kind of think that people are kind of distancing themselves from her right now with their comments on Twitter.
Hey, there were comments that she made in the past.
I know. But it's the internet, Ashley. You should know how it works by now. It doesn't matter if it's in the past. It's still not going to stay in the past.
If Ring of Honor can let Jay Briscoe say his comments that he did.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'll never forget that statement. So, like I said, I think the new Knockout is going to debut on Slammiversary on Sunday.
And if it isn't anybody that's outstanding, once again, it's a case of, well, you crapped the bed again, didn't you?
We'll see. I'm curious to see where we go with this. Speaking of a...
I'm just wondering, because of the maternity leave, whether it will be Reby Sky. I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't. Yeah, but
money, you can wrestle, with baby in the pram at ringside.
Oh God!
Not let James Storm anywhere near it.
Oh boy. Speaking of the Knockouts division, we ended up having the battle between Angelina Love and Velvet Sky. Angelina coming out to the beautiful...
They've actually had a match that they advertised as it actually happened. Huh?
Yeah, there's a lot of those on this show.
Actually, no, there isn't. I think this is the only one.
Nope.
Oh, no, there was another one. Yeah, I'll take it back.
Yeah, it's up next. And they advertised that Bram would face someone from the past, and they advertised Eric Young and Sergeant Melendez, and that happened, and they advertised Kurt Angle against a mystery opponent, so every match that was booked happened.
You knew how confident they were, though, on that talent from the past thing, because that wasn't even on their website.
Yeah, it was.
Been on Josh Matthews' preview, but in terms of, what was on the scrolling ticker tape thing, they did not mention that at all.
Yeah, I got it from Josh Matthews myself. So, yeah, Angelina using the Beautiful People entrance, still doing the same shtick and everything. Velvet's a biker chick now. She's got the rainbow bright hair, dressed like a biker. She's wearing the Motley Crue shirt, looking like all of Bully Ray's girlfriend. And she's using the Ace Crusher now, apparently, because the match pretty much ends with the Botox injection missing, boot, kick, I said what? I said wham, stunner, and 1, 2, 3.
What?
Haven't said that one in a long time, so I wanted to break that out on the live podcast.
Blimey. Aaron's missing out.
Yeah, he totally is. So basically, this match was hinged on the fact if Velvet won, she's back in the Knockouts division. So Velvet Sky's back in Impact. That's a good thing. This program actually has worked quite well. And now
Yeah,
both will move on.
yeah.
Then we get the Dirty Heels in the back. They're focused on Full Metal Mayhem, but TLC is a foreign concept to them. I know that's ironic. Because,
Lifetime channel?
yeah, tables, ladders, and chairs were not in their training when Bobby Roode was training in Canada and when Aries was training in Minnesota. Then they brought up hammerlocks on ladders and headlocks on chairs. Maybe by doing this, you played right into our hands. We're going to use tables, ladders, and chairs to break the Wolves in half. No rules, and we can be as dirty as we want. So in essence, they're basically like paraphrasing Two Life Crew.
Wasn't that Free Life Crew?
No, I'm thinking Two Life Crew. Luke Campbell's Two Life Crew.
Oh, I thought we meant the other one.
Now, we're not talking about 3LK tonight. I'll talk about one of them on Monday.
Oh.
So, then we get the Beatdown Clan are kind of in disarray right now. MVP hasn't been on television for a while. So a cameraman catches up to MVP arriving in the building, and it says, "Don't believe the dirt sheets, don't believe everything you read," which I think is probably like a subtle, by the way, you guys need to shut up now. And
turns out to be true, and then the dirt sheets go, "We don't need an apology."
the Rising hit hard. And in a war, you lose a battle or two. But you're a strategist, and trust me when I say the Beatdown Clan is stronger than ever before. Consider yourself warned. Won't find out until later what that exactly means. Up next, Full Metal Mayhem, match 4 in the series to determine the brand new TNA World Tag Team Champions. It is the Wolves against the Dirty Heels. Dirty Heels have to win this or they are out. And the Wolves, if they lose, then we go on to match 5, which apparently is not going to happen at Slammiversary. It's going to happen.
It's happening at Slammiversary. That's the whole thing. It's happening at Slammiversary. We'll get to whether it's happening at Slammiversary later.
Ugh. So one of my favorite parts about the beginning of this match. Did you see all of this match, Ashley?
No.
Okay. The fans were chanting for tables. There was a table propped up outside the ring. Aries gets up on the middle turnbuckle, and he shoves the table aside to the boos from the crowd.
Wow.
That was brilliant.
They truly are dirty. I love it.
It gets better. They put 2 chairs in the ring. And they sit down on the chairs, and they lock the Wolves in stereo chin locks. That was awesome.
This is how you take advantage of, I don't know, finding an excuse to not have a show on a pay-per-view.
This match was really fast-paced, so much fast-paced that it was impossible to keep up with, even for me. But I will say that there was a lot of really great stuff. Like Davey Richards hit a Japanese arm drag into the ladder on Austin Aries. I thought that was awesome. They put a chair on Aries' back, and he basically Nick Mondo and Bisoned him. I thought that was cool. And they normally do the spot with the Falcon Arrow from the super kick into the Falcon Arrow from Davey Richards. They did it with a garbage can shot into the Falcon Arrow this time. I thought that was awesome. And they basically put a garbage can on top of Austin Aries' head and start teeing off with chair shots after chair shots on him. They had him set up in the corner, and they hit a tandem Van Terminator on him.
It all sounds good. I can't wait for Slammiversary.
we'll get to that. Eddie sets up the power bomb, and Davey heads up top with a chair, and Rude comes in. He tosses the chair at Davey Richards, and a low blow, and the roll up from Aries, 1, 2, 3, and the Dirty Heels are tying it up at 2-2, and they will move on to Slammiversary for match number 5 in the Best of 5 series.
Except.
We'll talk about that later.
America.
Oh, God, I hate Destination America right now. So, Jeremy Borash is in the back with Matt Hardy. He was shocked that EC3 chose him, and trust me, when it comes down to it, he really doesn't respect him or like him, but he wants to prove that he can be TNA World Heavyweight Champion. He calls EC3 a piece of, and EC3 and Tyrus show up. And basically says, you know what, if you want a title shot, spoiler alert, next week, you're going to have to face me, and if you want to face me, he puts out his hand, he says, kiss the ring. Hardy kind of stumbles a bit over his lines and says, who's going to be your legacy when Kurt Angle makes you tap out?
Wow, we are really signposting this, ladies and gentlemen, and not in a good way.
JB comes out. Actually, no. I'll get to that later.
Oh my God.
God. So, Josh and the Pope are sitting at ringside, and they're getting ready to announce the next segment. And I almost thought Mike Enos was in the ring, because that's somewhat what happened after this. You know what I'm talking about. Out of nowhere, the crowd erupts, because I can vouch for this. The Impact Zone belongs to this guy. And sure enough, here comes the internet exploding when Jeff Jarrett and Karen show up wearing Jeff wearing a Global Force Wrestling t-shirt. And apparently, not knowing anything, it's Jeff Jarrett. Obviously, there's no security, and he's allowed to get a live microphone. So you put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah. Somebody needs some money, and somebody might have some money, and somebody might need, saving, and somebody...
As long as that toolbox Toby Keith isn't in charge of TNA, I don't care.
Yeah,
It would be him that has the money.
Yeah, but the whole irony.
I know.
Dixie saving Jeff's ass back in the day. And, how the tables have turned, Batman.
I know Panda Energy has more money, but I have a feeling that Panda Energy was like, I'm just going to shut this spigot off. This faucet is going to close immediately.
And Panda Energy has got plenty of money for energy. For wrestling?
It's like when Time Warner when Time Warner took over, and WCW pretty much got axed right off that.
Yeah.
History repeats itself in the wrestling business. It happens every day.
It's not that easy being green.
Yes. Jarrett's first words back in the Impact Zone: has hell frozen over? What are we doing in the middle of a TNA ring?
Considering your appearance in Spring Breakers, hell is not frozen over.
He's not down with hell in Spring Breakers. He's a good Christian gentleman.
I still love that clip that's circulating on YouTube of the opening of that film with him, and then him smashing Beetlejuice over the head with a guitar.
He's got Selena Gomez in the prayer circle, and the next thing you know, you see Jarrett hit Beetlejuice with a guitar.
Slap nuts! Yeah, slap nuts! Bang!
I love Spring Breakers, and I have never hid that from anyone. And I refuse to. A week ago, I was in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, promoting Global Force Wrestling. This could have been a drinking game, by the way, Ashley. You could have, every time that GFW or Global Force Wrestling was said, you could have just taken a drink. You probably would have been, like, an alcoholic by the time the night's over. Or dead, whatever comes first.
Why didn't he bring up, where he was this weekend? Just really rub it in. I was in, I was in Mississippi. And I was also in Kentucky.
I got a proposal from TNA management. And then I was like, I'm not even going to take this call. So I got on a plane. And then I got to thinking, what do they want from me? So I'm going to go ahead and hear them out. We want you back for one more match. So in essence, it's basically Jarrett getting the treatment that AJ was going to get somewhat when they were going to bring him back for one more match and put him into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's Hall of Fame stuff.
It has to be. I bet that's part of the deal, too, regardless of what the deal ends up being. Jeff Jarrett ends up in the Hall of Fame. Unless that ceases after this several months, who knows? I got to thinking, I almost hung up on him. I don't even wrestle for my own company. Why should I wrestle for TNA?
That's true.
It is true. It's a very valid point, Jeff.
Japan and Mexico. Why? No clue.
But it's not just any match. Oh, no. It's the match that Jeff Jarrett created. As a 13th annual Slammiversary, it is King of the Mountain. He had some great moments in the Impact Zone. I mean, it wasn't Soundstage 20, it was Soundstage 19, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but it's like here in the Impact, he was literally doing a Mick Foleyism there.
I know.
In the Impact Zone. What he needed to do was the thumbs up. And
he forgot to thumbs up, yeah, exactly. The night that Jim Cornette announced Kurt Angle was jumping the TNA. When Samoa Joe gave Kurt Angle the headbutt from hell. And pretty much said...
That's what you could tell Dixie was sort of bound and gagged to this.
Yeah.
Because I don't think she'd want to bring up that man's name.
No.
Considering that other company is still using that man's name.
And of course the night that some punk kid from Georgia became the best superstar this company's ever produced. And he mentions AJ by name.
Well, that's slightly different because, he's on the competition on Destination America.
Bobby Roode and James Storm formed Beer Money, the best tag team in the history of the company. Eric Young's...
Yeah, that's probably fair.
I definitely think it's fair. Eric Young started out as...
I was going to say the Johnsons, but,
Oh, God. Oh, man. Why don't we just put Cheeks together with somebody? That would be a tag team. That's a long time ago, folks. It really is.
I'm getting flashbacks. Oh, God.
Oh no, lollipop in a cage, dancing. Oh, my God. Oh, better. So, Eric Young was the Pied Piper, and now he's got more television shows than Ryan Seacrest.
Well, considering American Idol's getting cancelled, yes.
Yeah. And that Seacrest, the other Seacrest, you can see on NXT every single week. Only theme park fans will get that reference. He's been promoting Global Force since April 7th. And he's wondering how will any of this affect Global Force. So it's time to pump the brakes a little bit. How would Karen react to this news? So Karen starts talking. I'm going to go at this a little bit differently. TNA was in our rear view. Global Force, our family, our future. So I said, absolutely not. But then he laid it out on the line. And I understood. I didn't quite understand right away, and I still don't completely get it, but I got it enough to get why this is being done. See, Jeff started TNA with Jerry, his father, but he is making this decision, and Karen is supporting him 100%. I do like the fact that she mentioned that she cried to Sanjay Dutt.
Yeah.
Which is random as all get out.
Good. All these really good talents no longer working at the company.
Karen, you may not understand this, and you may never understand it, but Jeff didn't go out on his own terms. He was fired in a backstage pre-tape by Sting.
Again, it's like all these names and names that you don't want being name dropped.
Yeah, someone had to like restrain Dixie with that 50 Shades of Grey stuff. And she didn't
God.
get on a plane and come all the way to Orlando just to go back home.
Yeah, she wanted a trip to the theme park like she did the last time when she got caught corpse laughing.
I know. They were over in Universal Studios, Florida, over in Curious George, and I saw the video. I remember. So this Sunday, he's going to make things right. The King of the Mountain is in the King of the Mountain match. One last time, and Jarrett will be damned if he's not going to climb that ladder and win once more. Music.
Which therefore means that he's going to become the #1 contender.
Mm-hmm.
I see an issue here.
Maybe. We'll get to that. So Bram is in the ring, and here comes his opponent, Vader.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Jeff Jarrett. I thought he was coming out to interrupt Jeff Jarrett.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, it was like, look, we didn't know you were coming here. We're pissed at you.
Yeah, no lie. Vader, of all people, who hasn't been in TNA since the NWA TNA days, back in the Asylum in Nashville.
He actually was in TNA?
He did, I believe, one squash match against like 2 jobbers.
Oh, it was one of those matches that was really significant. Right?
Like when he was doing that in the USWA, he would just randomly come out in the middle of a jobber match and just squash both guys.
Right. He was just there because, they had money. Jerry Jarrett had money.
So, former World Heavyweight Champion Vader is the one who accepts the challenge. And Vader looked a little bit better shape than he did when he fell off the steps on Raw. And when Batista barely could spinebuster him. I recall this too.
I just wish I'd seen bloody Bram now at my local bloody gym. Bloody last week.
Bram ripped
in a better angle here than what seems to be coming here. What you're talking about.
Bram rips off the mask and starts beating up on Vader. And eventually Vader ends up taking him out to dry. He hits the Vader attack, short arm clothesline. He does hit a Vader bomb, but the foot's on the bottom rope. Bram powders, grabs the turnbuckle from underneath the ring, and ends up jabbing him in the ribs and then in the face, and the referee calls for the DQ. So he keeps beating up on Vader, which is ironic considering the fact that Vader used to do this to people all the time. And very familiar music ends up playing because who returns to TNA? The Blueprint Matt Morgan. The retired Matt Morgan, by the way.
Somebody's desperate.
And Bram charges at him. He catches him. He fall away, slams him, and he clotheslines Bram over the top. And it's made official for Slammiversary this Sunday. It's going to be Bram against Matt Morgan. So, Ashley, any thoughts on the Jeff Jarrett interruption and the Bram versus Vader with special guest Matt Morgan segments?
The internet is going to say that Jarrett thing has like 59 different meanings. And probably does.
Yeah, and he did say in his promo that I glossed over it, but it's true. He said that I'm going to say something tonight, and I'm going to say other things later on. He's been hinting about on Twitter, if you've noticed, that there's a deal in place, but it hasn't really crossed yet. They're still working on it.
Oh, they haven't crossed the line.
Yeah, the streams have not been crossed.
Oh, okay.
It is still his world, though.
that just something seems weird.
It
And
is interesting timing, I will say that right now.
you know, if it turns out all this time the Destination America did a deal with Global Force,
Oh God.
and Impact was just booked as filler for the 9 months before they were ready to start, those talents on that roster are going to be very, 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 very pissed at Dixie.
Yeah, I can see that because a lot of people look at someone like James Storm, who never went anywhere else. When everybody else left the company, he stuck by TNA's side.
Had the title for what? 40 minutes?
Yeah. I
Oh
mean,
no, 40 minutes. It was more like it was actually a day, wasn't it? In
yeah.
terms, but
I mean, it sucks. It really sucks, honestly, because so many people have put all their faith into what's going on, and if everybody is proven right, oh my God, so many people, I'm just going to have to get off the internet for a while because I don't want to hear it anymore.
plus, for somebody like him with the talent that he's got
Hmm.
in the angle that they're currently booking him in, I'm amazed he stayed so loyal to that company for so long.
I mean, he's not. I mean, this may be a controversial statement, but I'm gonna say this right now. James Storm is the Tommy Dreamer of TNA. He will go down with the ship, without a doubt.
As much as I fear it, you might be right.
I really do. I really think James Storm, as talented and great as he is, in both in the ring and on the mic, I really think that if TNA's going down, James Storm's not going to jump off the ship. He's going down with it.
Hmm.
And I know for a fact that it's going to be really hard to get any sort of WWE deal if you are a former TNA guy, especially now.
Yeah, because they've got that token TNA guy already.
And they've also got Ring of Honor basically to be their feeder system if they really want to use that way. Because look at all the WWE roster now. Look at NXT. A lot of those superstars have been through Ring of Honor before.
Plus, if the rumors are to be believed, they might even be signing up their own sort of unofficial developmental sort of territory
Yeah.
to take advantage of while the rest of the WWE NXT people go on tour.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk over the weekend that there was going, when NXT actually does tour, they're going to use a lot of the older names and their core roster as well as talent from independent promotions.
Hmm.
But that's an evolving story, so we don't need to talk about it until it actually hits.
Oh my god.
I,
I am not saying anything, but bravo!
I thought that was great. Thank you.
God damn it.
It's pretty good for midnight. Now, okay, so our next, what we do basically our end game here with Bram, and I'm guessing is they're really trying to make him a homegrown TNA talent. Like what they're doing with Ethan Carter III and what they're doing with Bram is pretty much similar. They're trying to build their own stars that, as bad as it is to say, the WWE dropped the ball with.
Whoa, 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 whoa. He was the guy that got tested positive for drugs.
I know that.
Drugs.
I'm not talking about his recreational lifestyle. I'm talking about his in-ring capabilities.
Yeah, but it was his recreational lifestyle that ruined his chancing, his chance, sorry, at in-ring activities.
And took a Canadian indie worker named Rick Victor and put him in the Ascension.
Yep,
And it works
they
very
did.
well.
They did.
Yeah. God, don't get me started on that. We talk about the Ascension way too much on these podcasts. But I think what we're leading towards is Bram's going to end up facing off against superstar after superstar after superstar, and eventually he's going to meet somebody that's going to give him a battle. Unless I miss my guess, it's probably going to happen Sunday. Because I don't think this is a one-time thing. I think Matt Morgan may end up coming back to the company. Crimson I'm not necessarily sure about, but I think Matt Morgan may be back. I could be wrong.
Again, because Impact is gambling, 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 and slightly gambling.
Slightly gambling.
Oh, I don't know how many times you can say gambling before, the FCC come in and say, you talk too much about gambling. Please gamble
So,
responsibly, children.
so we get our blow-off match with Eric Young and Chris Melendez. It was fine for what it was. I mean,
This was a thing.
Melendez ducks his head for a back body drop and he gets pile driven because just like you don't powerbomb Billy Kidman, you don't duck your head around Eric Young. So, match over. I have a feeling, I have a really good feeling, a feeling I know. I almost went into Mr. Rogers territory right there with the way I was saying that.
Because you feel it in your toes. That's what you do.
I do think there's a really good chance we see Eric Young in King of the Mountain.
Well, you've got to find 59 other people to be in that match, haven't you?
There's only 5 people in it, I believe.
That'll become 8.
This isn't Money in the Bank.
That'll become 8.
It's 5 people. And I really wouldn't be surprised if it's people from the past.
Yeah, the match that was supposed to become the #1 contendership match becomes a let's all look at the people that were actually good in TNA compared to the crap storytelling that we have now.
God.
Stealing ideas from House of Cards and Snitsky.
We're not going to know until Sunday who's in King of the Mountain.
Unless, of course, they just randomly announce it on Twitter. Which
was
knowing Dixie Carter, very likely.
She does love her Twitter, after all.
Darling.
Oh, God. Here we go again. And also, because I see... Go ahead.
Could be worse, could be Maggle.
Oh, Jesus, no. No more. No more ever. So, yeah. Like I said, Melendez and Eric Young, that's the thing. And then for no reason, the Beatdown Clan and the Rising started to fight. They just fought. I remember when TNA debuted. I remember when they had the big brawl outside the Manhattan Center that looked like legit fighting. Like the entire roster just fought into the building when they were doing the ECW style shows. The New York fan base that loves TNA, which I really wish they could utilize that, because TNA needs to be spread through 3 territories. The UK, New York, and Orlando. The problem with Orlando now is that there's another wrestling company about 40 minutes away that's kind of taking away their business. In every single way possible.
On the men's and female front.
Yeah, 100% agreed on that.
The irony being that your champion there is currently a member of the TNA roster.
Yeah.
For a split second, both companies. Until, one decided to join TNA and the other decided to leave, in which case they went, oh, let's put it on the one that isn't in TNA.
Yeah. So they fought and they fought and they fought, and MVP basically said that beware, something's coming. And that something that was coming was the returning Hernandez. And he border tossed Drew Galloway, and they left the entire Rising laying. So we've got ourselves a match set up for, I'm guessing, Slammiversary, even though it's not promoted yet that I'm aware of. Ashley, did they officially announce the match for Slammiversary?
Hang on, I need to go back in my history to get up the tab, which has got apparently the updated list. Where is it? There it is. Let me check.
Oh, good. The power of live internet radio, folks.
No, that is for Bell to Bell.
Okay, good. That's what I was thinking it would be. So...
No! Just...
We'll get to that. We will get to that. Don't worry. Main event time. Matt Hardy and Kurt Angle. This match was good, back and forth for like a 8-minute match. It was fine. I didn't have a problem with it, other than the issue of repetition. Rolling German suplexes and side effects. End. Missing the moonsault does Matt Hardy. And it pretty much leads to Angle taking over, and the twist of fate gets shoved off, and it finally does connect. Angle kicks out, and the twist of fate is basically countered into a shove down by Kurt Angle, proving he's a man, and he locks him in the ankle lock, grapevines the leg, and Matt Hardy tap, 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 like Sammy Davis Jr., as a wise man once said.
That's interesting that, just looking on Twitter, Matt Hardy said, "Neat that a competing talent showed up on TNA, but a long-winded Jarrett cut into my TV time. Not sure how I feel about
that." That's legit, folks. Matt Hardy does not work people on Twitter. Now, does he?
Dixie's like, oh, nice. TNA's like, oh, nice. Shane Helmer's like, oh, nice, which is even more surprising. And Manic is apparently saying that everybody before today was jumping the gun.
He's been defending TNA left and right lately.
Billy Gunn? What? Oh, and also interestingly, Global Force has released an exclusive video of Jarrett's TNA return. And again, teasing more news to come this weekend.
Yeah, I have a feeling... See, the thing is, they could have went with like a good old-fashioned professional wrestling mysterious benefactor gimmick, but they just laid it out on the line and brought Jarrett into the company.
He will walk down the aisle for the last time on his own terms at Slammiversary. We'll have more info on this story as it becomes available. Follow for more updates.
So, of course, we're doing a live podcast on Wednesday night, and we're not going to get information except for via Twitter.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah. Just,
yeah. We'll talk about it once the pay-per-view's over on Sunday. Now, this leads to EC3 and Tyrus attacking Angle. Matt Hardy fights him off. Tyrus nails Matt, and Angle slams the Tyrus. Carter gets in the ring, attacks, and he gets dropped toe holded, and he's locked in the ankle lock, and he's tapping like a madman, and that's how we go home. This is a reset button show, 100%. But honestly, Ashley, I gotta say, this was entertaining. A lot better than last time they went quote-unquote live.
Well, at least this time, when it did go live, they didn't show a feed where they were actually showing it live, not in inverted commas live.
Yeah.
At least they didn't screw up that time. Possibly because they're only taping one episode tonight, from what I can tell.
It sounds like there's only going to be one episode taped every day this week, with the exception of Slammiversary.
Well, because they're not constrained by TV broadcast, I'd say there's room to do one and then possibly one or two matches from another.
They've been doing that, actually. The last set of tapings, they actually did that. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's one of the routes they take.
That's why I think that's more of a realistic approach.
And we
But
were trying to get we're trying to get Aaron on the show tonight, but the problem is he's still trying to get back. So if I guess we'll get his
spoilers getting out.
yeah they locked him in. They made him sign an NDA.
Killed by fire, so no results can be no witnesses.
The X Division title three-way dance was good for what it was. I'm very shocked that Grado actually didn't win. Really shocked he got eliminated first. Tigre Uno is interesting.
They changed it from an Ultimate X match within 12 hours.
Like I said, I still think we see Ultimate X sometime in the next couple days.
Yeah, but again, that's for at least for this. And I'll be honest here, the only spoilers that came out for tonight's show was really the Jarrett thing.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter too, and then I was like, get off Twitter.
To some extent, the Tigre Uno. Everything that happened later on in the night, I have seen nothing about in terms of spoilers. That'll be completely different when it comes to tomorrow.
Oh,
because people won't be able to see it within an hour.
Yeah, tomorrow's the free preview. That's what I've been calling them for a long time, so that's trademark Soro and Disney.
It's not even that. It'll be a read the results preview.
Oh God.
That'll be.
So Tigre Uno wins, and I'm curious to see where they go with him now, if what they're going to do with him in the X Division Championship. Don't forget, Option C still looms in the balance every time you have an X Division champion, whether they want to cash in next year at Destination X and get a world title shot. So Uno honestly could drop the title back. He could be a transitional champion, or he could keep it for a while. It's anyone's guess what direction they're going to go.
If if they stay on TV, Kurt Angle win the X Division title and then win, title back because the viewing figures will have dropped so much down because the American hero isn't champion.
Yeah, for Destination America, I know that they wanted Kurt Angle to be champion.
I think they only want Kurt Angle to be champion.
You can tell with their promos for TNA.
If the viewing figures plummet when EC3 gets the belt, you know what's happening on the TV tapings in July.
Yep. So we've got Velvet's back in the company now, which is good because she was missed without a doubt, and I liked the program that she had with Angelina. I thought it worked really well. This was a great conclusion to it, and I liked it, except for the fact that for some odd reason, when she went biker, she became Stone Cold Steve Austin somehow. I don't know how that works.
What?
Doing the stunner and everything.
What?
Exactly. What? Kick? I said what? I said wham, stunner.
Stealing moves from Jay Lethal.
So the thing is, we also have a new knockout. I'm going to guess that's debuting on Sunday. Could it be somebody that is from another company? That's a good bet. Could it be somebody that's brand new? You never know, possibly. I think it's going to be the person that ends up teaming with Brooke and Kong, given the fact that the promo itself says playtime is over, and it said it on both promos. So they're basically just targeting Taryn, Jade, and Marty right now to try to get their Dollhouse regime taken out of Impact.
I've got a worry now.
Go ahead.
Well, I find it interesting that trending on Twitter today, and this might just be coincidence, was Barbie Blank Appreciation Day. Because I'm just thinking,
oh my God.
it's blatantly going to be somebody that's a former WWE talent, because apparently that's all they're interested in right now. Because let's be honest, the Dollhouse, the other two, were much better on the indie scene than they are currently on on Impact.
Well, you do realize the irony of that if that were to happen.
Not off the top of my head.
It is the reformation of Extreme Expose. Brooke Adams,
Except, yeah, on two different sides, yeah.
yes, on one side, Barbie Blank on the other, and obviously Layla's working for WWE, so Awesome Kong is the third in that group. So yeah, it makes perfect sense if that's end up being the case. But I don't really think she'd be like a dollhouse killer, so I don't know. Because she fits the dollhouse more. I guess we'll see, honestly. I'm really curious to see what happens on Sunday. Full Metal Mayhem was really good. I really enjoyed it. If you like psychology, you probably hated it, but if you like fast paced, hard hitting action, it had everything you wanted. It had a lot of really great back and forth action, and you could honestly tell that this program was supposed to be between the Wolves and the Hardy Boys. And it actually fit really well, and it's nice that they didn't really change anything. They just plugged Aries and Root in, and they went with the entire plan, and it's worked excellently. These matches have been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Bram puts his money where his mouth is, gets Vader. He gets by Vader. He gets Matt Morgan, so that's a thing now. I'm curious to see where that's going. Jeff Jarrett broke the internet. He's going to be in King of the Mountain. I mean, Matt and Kurt Angle was good. I mean, MVP comes out and says, be careful what you wish for, basically. Like, you've been warned what's going to happen next. And Hernandez joins the Beatdown Clan. Which means, Ashley, do you know anything about Homicide? If he's, like, still hurt or if he's off the DL or what?
Homicide's supposed to be showing up for an indie company where he was champion this weekend.
Okay.
Where the key thing is, he had to vacate the belt, I guess, because of injury. Same
Okay.
injury that put him out of action. You know, wasn't he part of the Beatdown Clan when he got injured?
Yeah, that I called him in the Beatdown Clan from day one, and when he didn't come in immediately, I was like, I don't know about this. And then when Joe left, they brought Homicide in.
Now I need to think of an anagram for BDC and LAX.
So the question is, if Homicide does return to TNA, does that mean LAX are the secret weapon of the Beatdown Clan?
Yeah, Conan. Where's Conan?
He's got his hands full with other things right now.
Well, if the rumors to be believed, he might not be.
And we'll see. But what do we have now? We got a pay-per-view on Sunday, and we use this old adage in wrestling. Everybody knows the words card subject to change. Keep that in mind for Sunday.
Ridiculous amount of change.
So what we've got as of right now, we've got King of the Mountain, Jeff Jarrett versus 4 other guys, which we don't know who they are.
Possibly 4. Could be 3, could be 17.
So 4 other guys. Could be somebody that's in the company right now, could be someone that's not in the company right now, could be somebody from Global Force, could be somebody from anywhere. We don't know. And they're not giving us any hints right now.
I'd say it's more likely to be legends, but then again, you know, he could be grasping.
I mean, Eric Young, AJ Styles, Bully Ray. I mean,
Kenny
that's...
Shamrock.
No, he's not going to show his face for a bit. I don't think that at all. Oh my god.
Sting.
That's not going to happen either. God.
Kurt Angle.
He's not booked for the show, so it's possible.
If it's a match that isn't even number one, if it's just a king, if it has no stipulation, it's just who is the king of the mountain. And it does, you know, it's not like for a title or a number one contendership like was originally reported.
Every single King of the Mountain match has been for a championship, with the exception of the X Division one, where there was the red X that they had to hang up. I don't know what this is going to be for. I mean, number one contendership makes sense, but
Do you think when they go in the cage, RoboCop will come and break them out?
oh god, watch out for Psycho Sid.
Yeah.
Right now,
Starting now? Right now?
no, right here on a really big show. Okay, so we got Magnus and Cowboy James Storm, non-sanctioned. Should be really entertaining. These two want to rip each other's heads off. I think it's going to be really great. It's going to be a vicious match. There's going to be blood, and I think at the end of the night, James Storm goes out on a stretcher.
And Mickey James recovers from death.
I don't know if we'll see Mickey James on the show or not. I guess it's anyone's guess. Rumor has it she's not coming back, but I don't know.
Considering that her autograph thing is supposed to be in Miami,
It's possible.
and depending on the timing of when it is, I'd say there probably could be time.
Well, the thing is I would have booked it so she shows up and stops Magnus from maiming James Storm. But after what happened, the only way you can go with that now is if something would come up and, oh, by the way, when she got knocked off... What?
Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, when she got knocked off the platform, it knocked something in her head, and now she wants to be with James Storm.
Yeah, because, that angle makes a lot of nonsense.
It makes a whole lot of sense, Ashley. I don't know what you're talking about.
A lot of nonsense going on.
Hey.
And that's what TNA's been for quite a lot of 2014 to 2015.
You don't pick who you fall for, or you don't pick who you fall off the platform for. How's that work?
Pick who you fall for, pick who you push off the thing you fall from.
It was dark. I saw something, juked one way to the other. Next thing you know, someone's on the ground.
It was Kevin Spacey. I was having flashbacks to House of Cards.
Yeah.
So I just tried to recreate a scene.
Davey Richards, singles match against Austin Aries. The winner chooses the stipulation for match 5, which is not going to be at Slammiversary. No, it's going to be at something else that we will talk about in a minute.
Tickets are still available.
Tickets are currently still available for WWE Monday Night Raw on Monday in Washington, D.C.
Do you want to do an update on that?
Oh, God. I haven't looked in a while. Oh, my God.
I'm still disturbed by this news that I'm seeing on Twitter. My
What
God.
Go ahead.
Some football player decided to distract the other football player by sticking his finger up a certain area.
Oh, God.
Bottom. And amazingly, obviously, the guy who was violated retaliated and then got sent off, and the guy who committed the crime was perfectly innocent. If this is what it's resorting to actually fix soccer games, God bless you, Sepp Blatter.
Okay, I'm guessing you want an update.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Family stuff.
You got 4 people, family of 4, want to go see WWE Raw on Monday night. 4 people, $45 per ticket. Section 203, row E, seats 3 through 6.
Hang on, I'm going to see if there's a discount code. There's got to be a discount code.
There's not yet. Section 203, still available. Still available. It's the upper deck, not the upper deck. So if you want to go to Raw on Monday night, you can pay $45 to sit in Section 203. 5 rows up.
Davey Richards is going to be a bad match, but
It'd be a great match.
when you change your pay-per-view from a title match that people were looking forward to getting the pay-per-view for to nothing.
To the same step match we've already done on free television with the 2 other superstars.
Yeah.
Because we had Eddie Edwards and Bobby Roode, and that's what led to the Full Metal Mayhem match.
Yeah. So basically, it's become a best of 7.
Oh, God.
If you think about it,
Kind of.
all we need is Austin Aries to win it, and then it literally is a best of 7. They've won 3 apiece.
Yeah, those singles matches don't count.
Match 7 of the best of 5 series.
So Bram faces Matt Morgan. We got the Battle of the Bromans, which is one of the only matches that's actually carried over.
Yeah.
The Adonis, because apparently they're not going to bring in Chris Masters because he's doing other things. Jesse Goddard taking on Robbie E. If I would have done this match, I would have booked DJ Z as a special referee. But he's got hurt. He got hurt, so. Awesome Kong and Brooke in tag team action against the Dollhouse. It's 3-on-2 handicap match.
Hang on. How did he get hurt?
We got beat up by Jesse, so I guess that's what they're selling.
Wow.
He beat him up on Impact.
I can't think how he wrestled on AAW this weekend, then.
That has nothing to do with anything.
To replace Davey Richards, because Davey Richards has apparently had a flooding issue or something.
And then the weirdest match of all, Bobby Lashley and Mr. Anderson against Ethan Carter III and Tyrus.
Which, you know, Matt Aries and Richards in this one is very interesting. Because both Richards and Lashley are supposed to be wrestling for a show in Mexico that same evening at that same time.
Well, perhaps these matches will go later in the card to give them time to get back.
This is Mexico. It's not like Mexico to like California.
That's true. It's Mexico to Florida. Yeah, exactly.
So I've got a feeling, you know, Mexico's going to go, well, sucks to be you, man.
Now, I got a feeling that they're not going to work that Mexico show.
I wonder why.
Well, the problem is if they're not going to work the show in Mexico, then why don't they go ahead and do the tag title match?
Well, you see, that's too important.
Oh, God.
Destination America needs viewers.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they need viewers to watch their Pitmasters and their Swamp Jockey Riders and whatever the heck garbage they put on their television station.
Insert random phrase here in Alaska, film it in Alaska TV series.
Exactly.
I know one of the public broadcast things in Philadelphia just shows like disc golf 24/7. That's actually no. Destination America is supposed to be showing disc golf, I remember. So you know.
Oh, that's great.
Hello, kids. Screw your Call of Duties and your Halos. Disc golf, bastards.
I'd rather watch Extreme Frisbee than watch some of the crap they have on Destination America.
Oh no, that's what it was. Extreme Frisbee.
That's awesome.
Like with a crate, like it's like there's just a dog on grass, and it's not the drugs, you know, the actual stuff growing or whatever. Oh my word.
Oh my God. If you have 10 people that want to go to Raw on Monday night in DC, in the upper deck, section 415, 10 tickets, row F, seats 4 to 13, $30 per ticket.
Hey, perhaps we can send the Uruguayan football team to that. Oh. Minus the one that just got fingered. That's nice. The best I can do.
I know.
Although one of the great Twitter lines was, well, if he's going on a transfer to another club, at least somebody did the medical for him.
All right, so that's what we've got for the pay-per-view on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know what we got on Impact this coming week? We have Bell to Bell, which is basically a pay-per-view show on television. It is a free per-view.
You'd have thought they'd have actually had Marty Bell on the card for Bell to Bell.
She'll be at ringside.
And the same thing.
Close enough. She'll be at ringside. So what do we have on Bell to Bell, Ashley?
Um, we have match 5 to be determined this stipulation for the
Yep.
tag belts for the Dirty Heels and the not so Dirty Heels, the Wolves or whatever they're called. Uh, the triple threat for the Knockouts title with Taryn, Brooke, and Kong,
Yep.
and probably somebody else just for the heck of it because, they change cards on the fly. Actually, I've just realised if that talent does debut but then doesn't show up on the TV tapings, like you're saying, for the, like, make it a 6 diva tag.
It's just a guess. It makes sense.
Yeah, but then I also take into account that, Kong is about 4 women in one, so,
And don't forget,
Um,
we have a stable war between the Beatdown Clan and the Rising.
no, you can tell how looking forward I am to that when, I didn't even remember.
No mention of Tigre Uno defending the X Division Championship. I'm guessing that'll probably be announced for either a pay-per-view or Bell to Bell, one of the two. Bell to Bell is about title matches, so yeah, that makes sense. It would be on Bell to Bell.
Actually, where the shit is Rockstar Spud?
That's a good question. He could be in King of the Mountain.
Yeah, what if it's a #1 contendership? He could win it.
He will win, and then he will face EC3 at Bound for Glory.
Face Kurt Angle.
No, no, no. He faces EC3 at Bound for Glory, and we come full circle. The first person that beats Ethan Carter III, Rockstar Spud.
Yeah, but it would have to happen in the UK for the Americans to actually give a damn.
Honestly, if they do Bound for Glory in the UK, that would be okay with me.
Better than Japan.
It failed in Japan.
Well, because Wrestle 1's failing in Japan.
Seriously, Ashley, it writes itself. It really does. Rockstar Spud gets into King of the Mountain, and he becomes the #1 contender.
Then they commission the 3rd season of British Boot Camp. And like Big Andy, the guy gets tested for drugs and gets fired.
We haven't even talked about what happened on Tough Enough last night.
Nope. Mainly because I didn't even watch it.
I
Even
did.
though it was on YouTube.
I watched Tough Enough and Swerved last night.
And then, of course, your TNA World Heavyweight title match.
Yes.
EC3 versus Kurt Angle, and everything is pointing to an EC3 win. And then the viewership drops like a million because, people that don't normally watch wrestling are now watching it. Now that the guy isn't champion anymore, it'll be like, oh, well, what's that?
Well,
Baseball? Watch that.
well, here's the thing. Kurt Angle is basically for the everyman that's watching TNA that doesn't really know anything about the company and knows him from WWE and want to watch him now. But TNA is not about those fans. TNA is about the internet fan, if you haven't noticed. And EC3 is somebody that they're trying to build to be a cornerstone of the company and have tried to do this for almost 2 years now.
I'm pretty sure a lot of internet fans didn't want Vader. Let's be honest.
They don't know what they want. It's the internet. The internet doesn't know what they want. Come on, Ashley, you know that.
Considering everything that I've seen in the past week, hell, even while we've been speaking, Warner Brothers have stopped the PC version of Batman Arkham Knight being on sale because it's broken.
I'm more excited about the Batman film coming out in 2018 with Chris Terrio and Ben Affleck.
Because people said this shouldn't be on sale anymore and people were getting refunds on Steam, what happened? They reacted. People do know what they want. It's just whether the company that thinks that people know what they want actually listens to what people say.
I have already have a friend that has beaten Arkham Knight, so there you go.
Yeah. Well, good game, so I don't blame him.
Yeah. But that's what we've got. Bell to Bell sounds awesome. Like always, Impact are always great. I enjoy the Impact shows. The pay-per-view sounds really disjointed. but I'm curious about the debut of the new Knockout if they end up going in that route. I've always been a Robbie E fan, so the match between the former Bromans should be good. I'm interested to see what Bram and Matt Morgan put together, honestly. Davey Richards and Austin Aries is going to be a great match.
Hmm.
It will be a great match. And Magnus and James Storm, I think they're going to go over the edge on that match. Honestly, I really do. I think it's brutal. I think either one man goes out on a stretcher or both men do. They're really going to amp the volume on that match, and they should because that storyline needs something like that.
Yeah, we'll see.
And King of the Mountain, Jeff Jarrett returns, so I'm really curious to see what happens with that. So TNA has become topical tonight. It really has. Whether you like TNA or whether you're most of the internet and you don't like TNA, I just give it a shot because if this is the last time, they're going to go down swinging.
Whether it's become topical for the right reason, I'll agree with you it's become topical, but I don't know whether it's done. Some of the moves tonight seem more of a step backwards than a step forward.
That's debatable.
Well, sorry. The only one that was a step backwards was Vader.
That wasn't that terrible. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, but because of seeing him now, it's like, well, I don't need to see him in AIW anymore.
Fair
It's like
enough.
that's all he's going to be able to do, which is a shame because he probably still can do a pretty good wrestle job, but when he's up against Bram, who I remind you, this past weekend was wrestling in some sort of gym in front of probably about 100 people.
Yeah.
That's what he's had to do because reasons.
Mm, I gotcha. Sometimes that happens, though, honestly. It really does.
Hmm.
But I think that means that we are going to end this podcast. Aaron was not able to join us tonight. He will be joining us for the live Slammiversary podcast. He will be late again because he's coming back from Slammiversary. So once he gets there, he will join us with the live event perspective.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be back.
Yeah, we're looking. Yeah,
Then we can get all the details on all the spoilers.
yeah. He did say that he wasn't like interested in spoiling things, so I guess we'll find out exactly how that's going to work. But I do think that we're gonna have an interesting podcast on Sunday. It sounds like a Slammiversary is gonna be interesting. So that's what we've got this week for you. Thank you for joining us live and on archive, talking TNA Impact Wrestling tonight. Ashley and myself, obviously, I bring you TNA coverage with NXT. I know it's sacrilege to some wrestling fans to put TNA and WWE product together, but I do it every single week, and I don't care. NXT and Impact every Wednesday here on Pop. And technically, you're getting an NXT video by itself next week because the impact that I normally put on that video, yeah, that's what we're talking about now. So, yeah, we got that to look forward to. And we already had your sip and snack that was out for yesterday, and you can check that out. I focused on some Pepsi flavors and a Mountain Dew Dew Shine. This Friday, AJ's movie reviews will be tackling both Ted 2 and Max, as well as potentially Kumiko the Treasure Hunter and maybe some other limited releases. Saturday Gaming with Ash returns. Ashley, what do you got on tap for Saturday?
Activision.
Okay, sounds good.
And I'm trying to think. Was there another? I think there was another story involving an Activision. Certainly one Activision thing. I can't remember what the second one is because I have forgotten.
Right on. So that's tuning in on Saturday. On Sunday, brand new verses. We're going to end the somehow epic month of June with Spielberg is your final verses of June. And on Monday, the first of 3 of our half-year and anticipated videos, the worst of 2015 half-year video coming up on Monday. Monday will also be the WWE Raw Popcast with Ashley, Aaron, and myself. And we're going to be on the road to not only Battleground, but also to July 4th. And we're going to be up at the literal butt crack of dawn to give you guys a podcast talking about the July 4th Tokyo show. And, of course, that archive will be up on Tuesday. Wednesday, Sip and Snack obviously goes back to Thursday. Wednesday will be your NXT video. Friday, AJ's movie reviews will be tackling Magic Mike XXL, Terminator Genesis, and Faith of Our Fathers. That's coming your way. So then Ashley returns on Saturday, and Sunday, of course, the Versus is set up for, well, I'll let you guys figure that one out. I'll give you a code name for it later. So that being said, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. Aaron is not able to join us tonight, but if you want to follow Mr. Entertainment on the Twitter, you're more than welcome to. It's at Mr. ENT92, and he's also got Instagram, and you can check that out. He's also got a Facebook fan page. World of Winning is his website. Check that out as well. You can catch Ashley on the SNS Radio Network, his show Sticks and Flicks, and the whole indie show with Sandro. Ashley, what do you got coming up this week?
Considering I've forgotten, even though we just recorded it about an hour and a half ago.
Right on.
We have a roundup of what happened on the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, a preview of this weekend stuff on Beyond and PWG, and then Sticks and Flicks coming up this weekend. Probably more of a reaction to some of the E3 stuff, but I guess I'll be doing less of a rant on there about what I'm going to do on Saturday, because I just remembered what the other Activision thing is, and it's the same game, and it's bloody stupid.
Right on. So also, you can, like I said, you can check out Ashley 3 times a week, either here on Pop, well, 4 times a week now, either here on Pop or on the SNS Radio Network, and you can check him out on Twitter as well at @AshIsMyNameUK. While you're around Twitter, you can tweet me at Sir Owen Disney, and you can like our Facebook fan page, it's Sir Owen Disney Pop, or you can literally search for Sir Owen Disney and Pop if you want to. I do it manually. And also, if you'd like to send me an email, you're more than welcome to do so. We can talk about whatever you want. Wrestling, we can talk about TNA, WWE, talk about NXT, we can talk about Disney, Universal, Halloween Horror Nights. Oh, by the way, new Horror Nights news breaks. I'll have a podcast based on that and a new video coming out as soon as that information hits. And it probably won't be until after. I'm guessing maybe next week we could get an announcement in Orlando. If Hollywood, probably not until early July. But that's just a guess. So that will be coming your way, and if you have travel questions, you can ask me travel questions, personal questions I can't answer in here for good reason, or if you are a theme park or wrestling podcast and you'd like Sir Owen Disney to be a part of your show, you're more than welcome to send me an email, sirowen@gmail.com, and I believe, Ashley, your email is sticks at SNS Radio Network.
.com.
Okay, right on.
Don't forget the .com bit, otherwise it's just going to go, return to sender, address unknown. No such number, no such instant message.
So we want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching tonight, and wrestling fans, join us on Sunday for your Slammiversary Popcast with Ashley and myself, Aaron joining us later on for the live event perspective, and then our Raw Popcast on Monday night. So that being said, thank you guys and girls out there for watching. Ashley, thank you for joining me this late at night to talk TNA.
That's your fault.
Apparently it is. And we will join you Impact fans on Sunday. So until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that. Tickets are still available.